Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel. So today I have an awesome kalimba review for you. This is the Gecko K15CAP. And I absolutely adore this kalimba. And I'm going to tell you why I love it so much. So this is kind of an interesting kalimba in that it has 15 tines instead of your standard 17 tine kalimba. And you may think, why would it be better to have less tines? Well, that is a great question. The first and easiest answer is that in most kalimba music, you're not going to use those last two highest tines. So this one and the one on the other side, you don't use them very often. And those are the two that are missing from this particular kalimba. Now, the reason you don't use those two very often is one, they're the second and the third after the full octave. So on top, they aren't used very often. And the second reason is that on a lot of kalimbas, especially hollow body kalimbas, those top two tines are not very resonant, and they can just sound really plinky. That's sometimes referred to as dead tines. And you'll see that a lot of kalimba players are worried about them, and a lot of kalimbas have them. And that's not the fault of the tines in any way, I guess is the best way to say it. It's just because of, if you look right here, the length from the bottom of the tine up to that bridge is pretty short, so it doesn't have a lot of room to resonate. So here we have our 15 tine kalimba. There is another reason why this kalimba is really cool compared to this kalimba. Not just that it takes off the top two tines, which are kind of not super useful anyway. The other reason is if you go to the middle note on a standard kalimba, it's going to be a C. Okay, but on this particular 15 Gecko kalimba, the middle note is a G. Now, if I compare those right next to each other, you're going to hear how much different those two notes are. Hear how much lower this one is? So that's another way that this kalimba solves the problem of dead tines. If you have lower notes, what you have is a longer length of the tines from the end to the bridge. That's just a function of physics. If you have a longer tine, then the note is going to be lower. That's how tuning the kalimba works too. If you use your little hammer and push it in, then the tine gets longer and the note is lower. And because the note is lower and the tine is longer, the tines, especially at the top, are a lot more resonant and beautiful. Another neat thing about the 15 tine kalimba is, so it's about the same width as a 17 tine kalimba, but the tines themselves are made just a little bit wider. So if you have big hands or big thumbs, or if you consider yourself kind of a clumsy person, and you want to have bigger tines to work with, just like you might want bigger buttons on your phone, then this could be the kalimba for you. I really like having the wider tines. I feel like sometimes it makes sliding chords easier. So if you're trying to be like, that's easier to do on the wider tines for me. And I just like, you can do it better by feel. I can do it better by feel than the small, thinner tines. One disadvantage to the 15 tine kalimba is that if you play kalimba primarily off of kalimba tabs, that's like, so if you have pictures of the tines to show you which notes to play, that's going to be a little harder on this kalimba. One, because this kalimba is in a different key I have F written on here for simplicity, but it's actually an F sharp because in the key of G, in order to be a major scale, you have to have F sharps. So if you're trying to play along with other people, that will make it different, and you won't be able to use those tabs to play along with other people who are playing in the key of C, because your kalimba will be in a different key. The other thing to note is that you are missing those top two tines. So, I mean, it's not super common, but you will come across songs that will need those, and you won't have them, which is a bummer. I often advocate for expanded range for almost any instrument you can get. I do think that this is a great kalimba to have in your repertoire because it makes a lot of things easier, but it is also a super bummer when you can't play the song that you really want to play because you just don't have those last two notes. I believe, like most Gecko kalimbas, this kalimba is also made of camphor wood, which is a really well resonating wood, and it smells absolutely amazing. It's not really finished. It's sanded super smooth. But if you prefer the feel of that sort of finished wood, like you can see, this one is a lot shinier. It's got that finish on top of it. If you prefer that feel, then you're probably going to want to go with a different kalimba than this one. So there you go. That is all about Gecko's K15CAP kalimba, and it is in the key of G. And if you want one, check down in the description because I will have links to Amazon for you so you can go and grab one for yourself. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope you have an absolutely wonderful day. Hey everybody, thank you so much for watching my channel. Look right up there and click the subscription button if you would like to see more of my content, and I will see you next time. Thank you!